John, you want to start us off?
Yes, sir. All right, we're back here today. The Baseline Podcast. Jonathan Rears, Mayor Cohen. We have a very special guest today, Keandre Cook. Thank you for coming in.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir.
Goes by Dre, though.
Yeah.
Got it.
I got a few nicknames, but Dre is cool.
All right.
Okay. So, Dre, you've had a crazy year. Speaking of traveling, playing overseas, hit 4 continents, right? Keandre, you started in Australia this year, then played a bit in China, went back home for a few days, and then you got over here for the end of the season in Israel. But from way back, you're from Baltimore, played at Missouri State after Odessa, right? Playing JUCO. And after finishing up in college, you went undrafted and signed with the Hornets, right? Played for the Swarm for a bit. And then you went to Hungary for your first overseas team, France, Macedonia, Germany, and then, like we said, Australia, China, and Israel.
Yeah.
Damn, traveled man over here.
Yeah, I've been around, man. It's been a crazy experience. I learned a lot of different things, different cultures, and a lot of great relationships I built, a lot of good organizations I played for. So it's been a heck of a journey.
So going back, I mean, I guess I like to do this with all the athletes that come on here. At what point is, basketball big in your family? At what point did you kind of recognize this was something serious that you were going to pursue? Was just playing pickup and going into high school and knowing that was like this was going to be a big part of your life? And kind of at what point did you start to understand that this is what you wanted to do?
Just growing up, a few people in my family already played basketball professionally, so I would see them. But I started off playing football first, so I was like a big football guy. I just believed football. I didn't really have no interest to basketball, to be honest. But guys in my neighborhood, we was playing football, and they was playing basketball. So when football season over, they started playing basketball, and I would be in the house playing video games and be on Call of Duty, and they wanted me to play basketball with them. So we had a recreation center in my neighborhood, so we all would go there. So I tried it. Was terrible. Was so bad. And they was good in football and in basketball, but I was just only good in football. So since I was so bad, I wanted to take on a challenge and try to be better than everyone in my community. So I took a little break from football and started focusing on basketball and just going to the YMCA and practicing by myself, looking at YouTube videos and doing different things. Then when I came back, I ended up being better than everyone. And then I just started falling in love with basketball and quit football.
Very cool. And so that was in high school, you're saying, that process?
No, that was more of middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing basketball when I was in 7th grade. Yeah.
So did you go through the AAU circuit, that kind of stuff, or were you really started playing versus other guys competitively once you seriously got to high school and then later JUCO?
Yeah, I only played AAU for 3 years. I got introduced to AAU and everything far as basketball kind of late, because I start touching the basketball in 7th grade. Then 8th grade I played, and then I went straight to high school. So I played AAU in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade.
Very nice. Yeah, that's what we hear a lot, is that it's changed from when guys were there before until now. Now you got all these brand sponsorships and everything, and it's kind of a crazy journey to go through that. But what I'd like to ask you kind of about coaches moving from high school to college. What did you kind of prepare yourself into college sense, when you were going to go into JUCO, and when you're in high school, when does that process come? Okay, what I'm going to do next, and the decision to go to JUCO right after high school?
I had some friends that went to JUCO, so I would always ask a lot of questions to people that was older than me about their experience and stuff. So I would try to get ahead and learn a few things, but I have no idea what JUCO was when I was in high school until I had to go, to be honest. So yeah, but I would ask a lot of questions, and they would just tell me the ins and outs. And one of my close friends went to South Plains, and then I started telling him about the Texas schools that's recruiting me. So he was telling me it's a good league and I can do good things. So I would just always ask a bunch of questions.
What was that transfer like, coming from Baltimore, East Coast city, and then going all the way down to Texas by yourself and making that transfer into Texas JUCO ball?
It was a crazy culture shock for sure. I went to Odessa College in West Texas, kind of far from all the major cities, far from Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, just right out the way. So it was a crazy culture shock, way different from Baltimore. My first time being away from my family. So I was definitely missing home, missing the food, missing my friends. But I got there early just to try to get it here and get adjusted. And I was with the former team, just learning a few things and working out with those guys and practicing with them at the end of the season. So I got there like a little ahead of my time before all my other teammates came. So just to get adjusted and learn. So it was a really good experience, though.
How'd that help you, like starting your actual first year after the end of their season, for your first year of JUCO ball?
It helped me trying to get comfortable, try to get adjusted to the physicality and the speed of the game because it's very different from high school. And JUCO is very physical, so helped me get adjusted to learn and just being around guys that's going to D1 schools and getting advice for them. And they helped me on my journey, and I took a lot of information in and used that to when I was in JUCO my 2 years.
We hear we've had a few guys who've gone the JUCO route, and a lot of them say it's like you got to go get your own, right? Because this is a stopover essentially, and you're trying to get to a higher level, whether it's D1 or D2, D3. And how did the guys that were actually finishing up their season help you, maybe mentor you for what you're about to start in JUCO ball, and how did the team kind of formulate in that beginning of the season for the first?
Yeah, I always look at JUCO like kind of like an AAU type feeling, but with classes though, like AAU with classes. But the guys helped me a lot, just learning from them, being around the coaches and telling me like what type of player the coach want, what type of system he runs. So I had like get adjusted, and coaches was very like young coaches and very hungry coaches, and instilled like patience and hard work into their players. So it was really great. I just loved the opportunity and just the tight-knit family that I had in JUCO. I think I was very close with my JUCO teammates rather than any other team I ever been on to this day, I think so. So we had like a very, very great bond, and our coach always preached to us that we in this together, we like a family, and you probably never be on a team that's this close again, because we just all like trying to get to the top and all just grinding each and every day and fighting. And once you get to Division I, it's just way different. It's, the campus and everything bigger. You get to experience more things, and you're in bigger cities and bigger organizations, and you traveling way more. And you on 6-hour bus rides together and eating at Golden Corral for Thanksgiving and just grinding, really.
So at what point, once you spend one season there, you go into your second season, you had a great second year when you're there as like a sophomore in JUCO, and then all of a sudden are you getting these offers from D1 schools during this second year? And at what point are you trying to make your decision of where you're going to go, and who's helping you in that process of like the figuring out what's the next step for you?
Yeah, so my first year, I think I had about 3 offers, and I could have went to like some schools, but I wanted to just bet on myself and get better. I feel like I wasn't ready yet, and I feel like I can go to some bigger schools. So my sophomore year, I just stuck with the grind. I came back, had an unbelievable year. I think for freshman year, I averaged 4 points. Sophomore year, I averaged 16 points. So just focus on just working, and then I started working with my trainer, Jamal Haywood in Baltimore, and that just took my game to a next level. But the person that was really helping me is my cousin, Lamont Williams. He kind of like my manager in a way, but he the one got me to start playing basketball, kind of like the idea, like, why you not playing basketball at our family events and things like that. So he always been in my corner, giving me advice, helping me, and he go on visits with me and to schools and stuff. So he was helping me for sure. And like I told you, I had some older players from Baltimore that I'm close with, and on their journey, they went to JUCO, went to D1, went overseas, went to like an NBA and different things. So I would always ask questions and stuff, so they would give me advice. So just pass down the torch.
Yeah, I'm curious when, that process is happening and all these schools are like telling you that this is the best place to play and we're going to do everything that you want. How do you kind of see through some of the bullshit maybe that teams are saying to you and trying to actually decide like what's going to be best for me? How can I make that decision? Because a lot teams will say anything to kind of get you to come to the school. So how do you kind of see through that?
Yeah, it's actually tough. You just got to go there in person and fill them out, see if they're genuine, because a coach can tell you that we're gonna give you the keys. This gonna be your team. And then you get there and it's a whole different ball game. So you just gotta, I don't know, just talk to them, try to trust them. but it'd be kind of tough. It's like picking a school is kind of like picking an agent because they tell you like the same type of things that I can get you here, I get you there. So I just look at it as like picking an agent. So it's tough. I mean, agent, you can kind of like pick an agent and kind of fire them and go on to the next agent, but it's school and you can't just easily do that. So I think you just got to visit the campus, ask players that played there before you how they feel about the coaches and the system, and kind of do your own research to like look at the offense, see like I fit in this offense, is this my style of play, and then just try to ask about the coach, see what type of coach he is and stuff. Try to get the most information you can get before you get there.
What was it about Missouri State that caught your eye and made you want to commit there?
Yeah, so it's like when you're in JUCO, everyone wants to go to D1. Everyone wants to go to like the big schools, and everyone have dreams to go into D1. That's everyone's main goal. So when I got about maybe like 20-something offers, I think it was a little overwhelming. It was a little too much for me. I didn't know what schools I wanted to go to and what schools I wanted to visit because I only can take 5 visits. So it was kind of hard. So people that actually have like all these high majors and all these schools, I don't know how they pick one school. It's a very tough process. But
where is it that you can only take 5 visits coming out
5
of JUCO,
official visits.
or that's for any player?
I mean, you
coming
can take unofficial visits, but like 5 official visits is just like you only can take 5 official visits. But you can take unofficial visits, like go there on your own and visit the school and stuff like that if you live close by or something like that. But so only can take 5 official visits. It was definitely very tough, and man, I just at Missouri State was my second visit, and Coach Ford, he was at Tennessee State, and he's recruiting me there, and he got the job at Missouri State, and he would come to my school, talk to me, come to games, and always support me. And one of my close friends from Baltimore played for him at Tennessee State a few years before. So I just think like that chemistry and bond was there because he coached one of my guys. So I kind of knew what like type of coach he was, and the stuff he was telling me, he wasn't lying. He wasn't just saying stuff to get me to the school. And me and my cousin took a visit there, and my cousin that I said helped me, Lamont, felt though like this was a really good opportunity for me, and I can thrive at this school. And playing for Coach Ford, he just hard-nosed coach, going to get the best out of you. So I didn't really have plans to really go into Missouri State, but once I went to the campus and was around my teammates and everything, it just kind of felt at home. And then my cousin thought I should do it, so I was like, yeah, it's already a tough process. And then I'm on my visit, other schools still calling me while I'm on my visit, so I'm like, I'm ready to just get this over with. So I just committed on site.
Well, yeah, you went there and you thrived. Like you had great years, playing 30 minutes a game, double-digit points. Like that is kind of rare when you realize that you have picked the right opportunity. You were able to go somewhere that you really were able to thrive. So I guess moving forward, you have this experience, as you said, as we talked about earlier, JUCO, everyone's like kind of trying to get their own, but in your situation, they were more tight-knit as a team. And then you have kind of the D1, everyone's trying to get there. But then later when you're playing for the G League team, for Charlotte's G League, is that kind of similar to JUCO in a sense, that everyone's trying to prove themselves in a bit? Or is it kind of maybe more of a togetherness of a team, or everyone's trying to get their own and that kind of can ruin some stuff?
Yeah, so I think like looking back on it, JUCO kind of helped me prepare for a lot of stuff professionally. Even like playing overseas, I feel like it's like a little bit of JUCO, like playing in small teams, playing in small cities, and that's kind of how the JUCO scene is kind of set up, like small cities, small towns, and making adjustments and culture shock. So me going to JUCO, I think helped me thrive, like being overseas and kind of in the G League too, because everyone's trying to get to the NBA, everyone's grinding, and everyone's doing things together and trying to get to the next level. So yeah, I think G League is a mixture of overseas, and I mean JUCO is a mixture of G League and overseas in a sense though.
So when did you, I guess once you're in the G League, kind of start thinking that overseas is a real option for you? And at what point are you really looking into and asking your agent, or was your still cousin at the time that was helping kind of decide your next step? And obviously college is one thing, but then going on to play in another country is a totally different thing. So when did that decision come up, and when did you decide that that was what your next step would be? And then what were some of the difficulties that happened in that time of transition?
Yeah, I just played in the G League, but it was COVID, so we only have like a 2-month season. We only played 15 games, so I didn't get like the full experience, but I didn't get that much playing time when I was in the G League. So I was just grinding, come to the gym, playing 1-on-1, playing 3-on-3, playing 1-on-1 full court, and then not getting in the game at all till the end of like maybe like the last 3 games. A few people got injured, and I got to play a little bit. And then I wanted to. My agent had some opportunities overseas for me. He thought I should try overseas, so I was open-minded to it. And then I already knew a few people that played overseas, so. But it was a big adjustment though, just being away from home, being in another country. I went to Hungary, but I had some really good teammates though. I had really good teammates. Really, Justin Austin. I said y'all had him on here. He was
Yep.
my teammate in Hungary.
Baltimore guy, right?
Yeah, he from DC.
DC.
Yeah, he was
Taylor
my
Persons.
yeah Taylor Person is my teammate too. So I had some really good guys, and they made my process overseas much easier because I got to one point that I was like, nah, I'm ready to go home, man. This not for me, man. I don't see how y'all doing this. And then I think that was like in November that it was like, bro, you make it to January, February, it's gonna be smooth. And I just stayed locked in, and I ended up falling in love with being overseas. But at first, it was a big culture shock, big adjustment. I thought I was gonna be back, like the things that I would do in the States or the things that I would eat. I thought it was gonna be just the same, just in a different country. To be honest, I thought it was gonna be the same things. I wasn't fully prepared.
They don't have a Golden Corral in Hungary? No.
Nah.
I
Ain't no
wanna-
soul food at all.
I want to take it back for a second. You did sign with Charlotte for like right after the draft. You posted about getting shot in 2015 to eventually signing with an NBA team, right? Can you maybe talk a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, it was just a blessing, man. Just a blessing. I feel like I got like a second chance. Just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I feel like I just got like a second chance in life. So I wanted to take this basketball thing serious and just work hard and just try to get to the next level and try to help me and my family. So it just was a blessing. I think I wouldn't trade anything. I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to get shot again, but it's all a part of the journey, all a part of the process, and it helped me to be the person I am today. So made me strong-minded, and handle different situations in my life that I go through more easier just going through that process. But just to get to the NBA was, man, unbelievable because where I come from, I mean, it's tough. I mean, and just getting to that point, I was just very grateful, very blessed. I feel like COVID kind of messed me up in a sense because I was doing interviews at home with a button-up shirt on with shorts under, like doing Zoom meetings with NBA teams. I think I had like 13 Zoom meetings and just on the team, on the Zoom call with a bunch of teams, and they just asked me tough questions, and 20 people on the Zoom call and coaches and all types of stuff. And it all was like a very good blessing, a very good opportunity. But if it wasn't COVID, that would have been 13 NBA workouts. So, but everything happens for a reason.
Right. And it takes it to like, it's not even basketball at that point.
Yeah.
Right. But we talk about that year in Hungary where you had to kind of adjust, played 34 games, about 30 minutes per game, and you average around 16 points. So your first year overseas, you actually were killing.
Yeah.
And going from Hungary, then you moved to France. So what was that transition like, moving from another overseas country to another one in France?
When I got to France, I think I was kind of like adjusted to like the overseas game, and I was still learning a lot and just open to new experiences and things like that. So when I got to France, it's just like a bigger country, bigger league, one of the top leagues and overseas. So it was like a mini adjustment there, but not as like a culture shock because now I'm aware to like how overseas is. But France was tough though. I had like a good opportunity. I was starting in France, but it was kind of like, I don't know, playing in France was kind of like different to anywhere else I played because like I was close with my teammates and everything, but I just felt like I wasn't able to show like the best version of myself in France at times.
So when you said earlier that like kind of in Hungary you start to fall in love with playing overseas, like I'm curious what that means. Like in my mind, I think that maybe these guys who are overseas can kind of think of it as like, you know, it's my career in 2K and you got to like just go over there and get some work done. So what's that like? I mean, you land in Hungary, people are speaking this crazy ass language, like you don't know what the fuck they're saying, and you kind of have to lock in to just be yourself and work on your game. And you're just there and you're there to play ball and you want to like live there. Is that kind of what you mean when you say like fall in love with it and like the personal grind? I'm just curious what that means to you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like, you got to be where your feet at. So, like, when you think about at home and things like that, that's going to kind of get you distracted of what you focus on. Like, you got to try the new adventures, try the new food, try the language, learn certain words, at least like the basics to say hello, good morning, how are you, and things like that. Just be open-minded to learn their culture and be in their culture overseas, and then it would make the process way more easier. If you still think about at home and trying to get back to the NBA and things like that, you can do that, but don't put all your focus on that. Try to be where you at and try to focus on the overseas grind and get adjusted to how overseas is, and then make the process way more simple.
Totally. That's what we hear from guys, and it's cool to hear, and we think that's how you got to lock in and got to do it.
Yeah.
You can't live in the past, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But after France, we move on to Macedonia, and you play in the ABA. I'm very interested. I'm not really sure if we've had any guys who played in the ABA. What's that league like?
It's like all the Balkan countries really, but very physical, a lot of talent, a lot of teams from Serbia, a few teams from Montenegro, Bosnia, just all the Balkan culture though. But very physical league. You play against some Euro Cup, Champions League, and Euro League teams in there. You got Partizan, you got Red Star, you got Mega, which like Jokic and a few other NBA players usually get drafted from there. A lot of young players go to Mega and try to like thrive and have like a big role and then end up getting to the NBA. They probably got about 12 or 13 draft picks.
Oh, wow.
That came from Mega. So it's like very good talent, and some people is getting drafted, and then you got the big hitters, Partizan, Red Star, and some other good solid teams in there too. So it's very competitive, and but very, very physical though.
Very physical?
Yeah.
Would you say it's one of the most physical leagues you played in?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Out of all the leagues I played in, it's definitely about top 3 maybe.
Top 3? What would be the top 3?
Probably Australia, China, and the ABA league.
Oh yeah.
I'm really curious about Australia because we haven't had a player who played, I don't think, in the NBL for like a while. This is the league that like you see kind of future superstars, I guess, when you had the Ben Simmons, you had the Giddy, but it's like LaMelo Ball. It's like totally across the world. So like I guess, you know, now as I'm trying to get into like the overseas culture and all that, like I want to learn more about the NBL. What's that league like? Because you're playing in one continent, but you're flying all over the place. Like, is it a lot of travel? Is it like popular there? Are you getting recognized in the street in Australia? So tell me a little bit about the league because I'm really curious.
Yeah, it's a very, very good league. It's growing each year. A lot of players coming over there. They had the Next Star, NBL Next Stars was about maybe about 7 people that's going to get drafted each year. And I had a Next Star on my team that's looking to get drafted this year. Well, going to get drafted for sure. 7'3" guy. But it's a very competitive league. Play fast, tough, a lot of X's and O's. And the season is short, so you're playing about 6 months. But Australia is so big that, like, you flying everywhere. You can't drive to no other team and play. So you get on the plane everywhere. About 2 hours, 3 hours. The furthest you're going to go is Perth. That's like kind of going to the west, like going to LA from East Coast, basically. It's West Australia. It's probably about 6-hour flight. But, traveling a lot, playing a lot of games. Sometimes you play 2 or 3 times a week. You might play on Friday, then play on Sunday. It just depends on your schedule. You're either going to start like slow, playing like once a week, or you start playing twice a week, and then the second half of the season is going to be slower, or depends on how you start. But it's a very competitive league. A lot of great Americans play there. There's about 3 Americans on the team, maybe like 2 guys from New Zealand, and the rest Australian. But really good Australian players, Matthew Dellavedova, Chris Golden, and then some former NBA players that played out there too, like Bryce Cotton, unbelievable player, Ian Clark. There's different players that play there, and then some young guys like in the Next Star program that's coming from the States, who coming from different countries like Mexico, Italy, or Spain, that's on the Next Star program that's looking to get drafted and get the opportunity. So it got a lot of eyes on it, a lot of NBA eyes, a lot of overseas eyes. It's getting very popular.
Super interesting. You say it's like 6 months, but you guys played 28 games, and then here in Israel you have a 10-month season, but you're also playing around 28 games.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how they put that all in one. But from Australia, you go, and do you go home or you go straight to China?
Nah, after my season in Australia, we had like the award ceremony and everything, and then I spent like a week or two just still lifting and working out because I planned on going somewhere, and then I went straight to China from Australia.
Wow. So yeah, because Australia's right, they speak in English. Like at least you got that going on, and then you're in China. Like I said this before, but like you'd be on a different planet, you know.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck is that like? Going from a place where like most of the time you can probably find some people that speak English, and you're in France or Germany or something, but then you're in China, and it's like a totally new game and everything like that. So again, another league that I'm just like curious about and how you get adjusted. I know we keep using that word, but like,
Yeah.
it's China. Like, what? It's so different.
Yeah, China was super different. Language barrier, having translators. Like overseas, you might have some people that speak a little bit of English and stuff like that, but I've never been a part of a team where you have two translators translating every single thing that the player is saying, the coach is playing, and ordering food. They translate for us and order food for us. So it was a big adjustment, just how everything is. China is just like a whole different world. Like you have the robots bringing you food
Crazy.
and all types of stuff. The technology is unbelievable there, and like they have a lot of like different stuff that we don't have in the States and China. So it was like a big adjustment, like off the court, but even on the court is a big adjustment too because not so many of your teammates speaking English, and on offense they can kind of say like different plays like horns and five and different things, but on defense it's not like they saying left, right, under and stuff like that. So it's just like a big adjustment though. It's like a big adjustment. That's probably like the biggest adjustment I had since I've been overseas as far as like playing style. But it's like very physical, very high paced game. You playing like every 2 days. You playing a lot of games and stuff like that. So you got to do a really good job of try to get like a lot of recovery in and focus on your body and be mentally strong to play in China for sure.
I can't even imagine being on defense trying to call someone like there's a pick. Like, what do you even say?
Yeah.
You speaking in English, trying to communicate with them. But you're there for 5 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why was it so short? Was it the end of the season?
Yeah, so China doesn't do like fully guaranteed contracts. So they either do like 1 month or 2 months, or it's like every 2 months or something like that. So I had a 1 month guaranteed, and then if I make it to a certain date and they still want to keep me, then I have 2 months guaranteed. So I came there at the end of the season, and I was there for like 36 days. So I played 5 games, and then we had 5 Americans, and only 4 could be on the team for playoffs. So I was like the last American to come, so they ended up making a decision to let me go.
So before we get to the time in Israel, which I'm curious about how it compares to all the other ones, I see obviously, and it's a common theme that guys will play 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. If you could have re-signed in any place and to do a second year there, which one of the countries that you played in would you have done a second year if you had to pick one? Right.
Australia, for sure. Yeah, Australia is just so calm at home. People speaking English, no language barrier. I just feel like you kind of in the States in a sense, but you're just on the other side of the world, and the weather is different. Our summer is day winter, our winter is day summer. So when you get there, it's summer the whole season. You're going to the beach, doing recovery with your team on the beach. You're eating good. You can eat all types of food that I can eat back home. All types of like seasonings and sauces and stuff that I don't probably have in Europe and certain countries that I can have in Australia. So it's just like it's easy to fall in love in Australia, and the sense of like the double up sense, like you go there and play good, and you can get to like other teams in Europe or other teams in Puerto Rico or different opportunities that I would never thought I would have. I never thought I would play in China, but playing in Australia helped me to get there.
So coming in, I guess, also in China, but now talking about Israel, you're coming in kind of later in the season, and that, like, for Kiryat Ata, like, they have, I guess, all this chemistry that they've built throughout the whole year, and then that's a very common theme in the Israeli leagues. Like, we'll see towards playoff time or when the season's ending up, they'll add another player or two to the team. So tell us about how different it is kind of building a chemistry throughout a whole year with the team versus just kind of showing up or getting pulled in towards the end of the season and then kind of having to catch up in a sense.
Yeah, building the chemistry throughout the whole year is already tough in a sense. Just being around the guys, developing, seeing like what type of players they are, what type of spots they want the ball in, just figuring out your teammates, their strengths and weaknesses, and what's going to work and how do y'all gel. That's already like a grind for the whole season, figuring that out. So it might take most of the season. It might be in the beginning of the season, but you just got to click at some point. But just coming in, just how I did with just like 1 month and a half on a new team, it's like a crazy adjustment because they already been with each other the whole season, and then I just come at the end of the season and just trying to help. So, but the team was very welcome me with open arms. I got adjusted quick. I found out my role in the team quick. I think that's a big thing, finding your role, finding your niche in the squad. It's like a big thing, and trying to build a relationship with your team. So I just always had like open-minded, and being able to adjust on the fly is the things that I try to do when I'm overseas. Just try to get adjusted right away. I always try to get like good relationships with my teammates, so on the court can be much easier. If we hanging out off the court or we have common things that we like or do, then on the court should be much more easier to build a relationship. So, and
yeah, so you come in at the end of the season and Kiryat Ata is at the bottom of the league, and there's this relegation round where each of the 4 teams at the bottom of the league play 6 games in order to adjust their record in order to stay in the first league. Now you come in and yes, it's towards the end of the season. It's your last month, and we talk about adjustments. But in terms of adjusting, statistically, you had like your best stint was here. You were scoring 19.5 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and you guys played very well together once you came. There's a few games where you guys had to come back from you guys had some crazy comebacks towards the end. And then the last game against Netanya, y'all had 5 players in double digits, and you guys were clicking very well. So I guess what my question is what was it about Kiryat Ata and the league here in Israel that got you to adjust so quickly and actually play at a very high level?
I just, like I said before, just asking questions. I knew some guys that played here already in the league, maybe like 5 of my friends. And then James Bateman was my teammate in Australia, and he played on Kiryat last year. So he already familiar with the guys, familiar with what type of player they need and the role that I'm going to have. So just talking to him just made the process more easier. I already had knew what I was coming into and knew what I had to do for the team. And I feel like I just was like the missing piece that they needed to get over the hump and reach the common goal. So it was kind of easy. And in Israel, I mean, they have good players, good coaches, and they make it like kind of like simple to adjust, kind of like the playing style. Everyone's playing fast, everyone's switching defense, and I just make it a little bit easier. I'm used to like going ISO and doing different things, so our offense was already set up to kind of do those things. So I just felt right at home, really.
So would you say if the leagues you've played in, kind of the one that adjusts most to your style would be here? And is that how important is that to a player? Because as we see, some guys just have this really difficult time adjusting to a game plan. But do you think that ability to adjust is more of like a skill that guys have, that they're able to just come in and fit into any system? Or is it something that, can you work on that, the ability to adapt to whatever system's going on? Or is it kind of something that guys have or guys don't?
I think it's a skill, but sometimes it depends on the coach and stuff too, and the players you're around. But sometimes the coach and the players make it a lot more easier for you to come in and play your game and do certain things. Some coaches want to play slow and X's and O's. Some coaches want to play fast, get up and down, and allow you to kind of be free. And that's how I feel in Israel. They allow you to kind of be free, play fast. I mean, it's a few X's and O's when needed, but I feel like they let the players play their game, and you kind of playing free. You can do more than just certain things. Like if you're a shooter, you can still come off pick and rolls instead of just running all shooter plays for you. Or if you're good in the pick and roll, you can just do different things out here in Israel. So they'll allow you to really showcase your talent and showcase your game and give you like the full opportunity to be the best version of yourself.
Unreal. That's amazing. I'm curious how the fans stack up here versus in other countries. I mean, here, I guess, towards the end of the season, but where have you played that's had like kind of the most electric atmosphere or fans, I guess, kind of this overseas experience that people talk about with the fans?
As far as the fan standpoint, I think France and Germany was like the best fans. Macedonia had some really like diehard fans because they lighting fireworks and flares and they lighting fireworks and flares and like little like small little like firecrackers and stuff going off in the crowd and stuff. Like you might be on the court and just hear boom, boom, and you like, what's going on right now? So and then they lighting flares and fires in the crowd and stuff. So, but France and Germany always had like sold out crowds though. They was very passionate, very great fans, bringing the energy. Sometimes you just win games off of just the fans.
How's the crowd in Australia?
The crowd in Australia was really good, but we just moved into like a really big arena. So they were still trying to get to that next level of packing out the arena and stuff
Right.
like that. So I think in the next few years it would definitely be more fans and stuff. It was already like a good fan base, but maybe some other teams that have like smaller arenas and stuff in Australia used to have like packed out games and stuff.
Right.
But we was building that relationship with the fans, building that chemistry and winning games. And when you win, more fans come. So I think in the next few years they'll have some packed out crowds because the arena is really big, like really stunning arena.
Right. It's interesting because at the beginning of that transition, when you have a big arena, sometimes it doesn't always help the team. That first couple of years, we even see in Netanya, they built an arena, and now, unfortunately, they're getting relegated. But, yeah, it's crazy because there's big arenas we see all the time, and if you don't have the fans for it, it kind of makes it quieter rather than playing in a high school gym and it's packed and
True.
gets super loud. So it's cool. We typically, towards the end of our podcast, we do a little shot clock segment. So we'll get a little rapid fire going.
See, I think people coming in are starting to know about this. And
I did watch it. I did watch on Instagram, but it's not gonna be probably the same questions. But still answering on the fly is still tough anyway.
It is tough. You don't know what's gonna come.
It's really interesting. Maybe if you came earlier, we would talk about Kiryat Ata in the playoffs. But
No. Wait, I'm curious to hear about it because I think that. Like, it's so funny to hear about the atmosphere totally changing, like in this Kiryata, this kind of section of the league where it maybe for like part of the year it's maybe not as electric, and then you get to the season, all of a sudden you got to get like hyped up for this playoff that you're not kind of used to. So right before we do this segment, which we'll finish up with, but is it you kind of find this weird in between of players like maybe coming off a low of a season then having to like shoot up for the playoffs, and how is that different from like building up throughout the whole process? But I guess you came in late, so it's like maybe different. But when you're there for the team, do you see them kind of like have to hype themselves up to prepare for this, relegation round when maybe the season wasn't so successful?
Yeah, even though like your season's not successful, you still get another opportunity to fight and stand in first division. So that's what I like the bottom playoffs for, because like usually in Europe or overseas, once the season is done and you at the bottom, it's over. There's no second chances. So here it's kind of give you like a second chance to fight. So it's just like the playoffs, like the playoffs that's going on in the upper standings. So everyone's fighting to stay in the first division. So you're going to have like energy. The fans is bringing the energy. All the players is bringing the extra energy to fight. You got to be more together at all costs because it's money time. No one want to go down to second division. Everyone have aspirations to play in the first division and do great things in the first division. So that was our common goal when I got here. And I got relegated before, so I know the feeling. So I was going to bring my talent 100% to help these guys. So I just hit the ground running, came here, and try to give it my all from the jump.
definitely brought the A game. And how's that locker room after the Netanya game?
Crazy. It felt like I won the NBA championship. We was throwing water everywhere. We was playing music. We was celebrating. Everyone had great energy. Everyone was in good spirits to fight and see that we in the first division. So it was crazy though. It felt like we really won the championship, and we all was dialed in. We all was locked in the game. We all was fighting. We was playing aggressive defense. We was doing great things on offense. So yeah, it was a fight, man. It was like we was together, like super together, super tight.
That was definitely like
Electric.
the most identifying game for you guys, because from the jump y'all were winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like rather than the games before, y'all made crazy comebacks. But
Yeah.
again, I said 5 guys in double digits is not very common out here. So
The whole team was clicking.
yeah.
Yeah, exciting, dude. Yeah, I think it's great. The whole that whole system, it keeps everybody locked in, keeps like an extra something you got to fight for. So it's cool. All right, so should we run to this segment?
Yeah.
You ready, John?
You have a shot clock to pull up?
Okay, yeah, bet. I got it.
How many seconds we got? 30?
24. Shot
24?
clock. No, but if it's college, isn't it 35? No, we do 24.
No, he's not in
24?
college anymore.
Yeah. All right. All right, John, are you ready with the first questions then?
Wait, we already asked country with the best fit.
Oh yeah, that's what he knows about. All right. Tyler,
Okay.
you ready?
Let's go.
2 and 2. Ready? Go.
Favorite team you've ever been on?
Brisbane Bullets.
Favorite basketball sneaker?
Questions.
Favorite Chinese phrase? You can say skip.
Skip.
Hardest player you had to guard?
In a real game or
Any.
Carmelo Anthony.
Go-to warm-up song?
Chicken pea people's favorite.
Who talks the most trash?
Dang.
Say Liam.
Yeah, Liam for sure.
Chase down block or steal?
I'm still
Dunker 3.
3.
All right.
We went with the college shot clock.
Yeah, it's fine. That's funny.
Well, we appreciate you coming out, man. This was awesome.
Dang,
So-
I messed the Chinese stand up, man.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because when you said I gotta learn some phrase, I was like, I'm gonna ask that later. Like,
Dang.
But you asked Chinese. That's definitely the
I
hardest.
don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Chinese. Ni hao, is that Chinese?
Yeah, ni hao is
Okay,
Chinese.
cool.
I could have said that, though. I know that. But just on the spot, I'm trying to get to the next question. I'm like,
That's
damn.
funny, dude.
If
Okay.
y'all watching, I'm sorry, man.
That's funny. Dude, thanks for coming in. We appreciate all the insight. We love to hear from the athletes. So we appreciate you and best luck with whatever you got next.
Yeah, thank you. This is really dope thing that y'all doing, the podcast. And it's really, like I told him when I seen him yesterday, it's something different that's not really common overseas. So y'all just getting around to everyone, getting their story out there is really unbelievable.
Thank you, dude. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.